the Moaning Yorkshireman, the story of my life so far.
So Josh, tell me about life after school.
Well, life after school, thankfully, shit turned around and I ended up going to college. I went to Doncaster College, the hub, studying motor vehicle maintenance there. It wasn't my first choice. I did actually apply to go to Silverstone, the College for Motorsport. Didn't get in that year, unfortunately, because I applied for the wrong course. I went for the level 3 advanced, and I should have gone for the level 2 easier course, but not to worry. So I ended up there, and it was, honest to God, it was such a turnaround in my life. Everything changed then. I'd gone from being treated like shit for like pretty much 16 years of my life in school, in primary and secondary school, and fucking horrendous, to being treated like a proper adult, and it was just so much better. It was a transformation in my life, really. First day induction, was there, met up with everyone, and everyone was just so friendly. You know, like you get the bitchiness at school, like, oh, I don't like him, why? Because he smells. You're like, oh, fuck off. Well, all that kind of ended. You know, it was just a really nice atmosphere. I got with a great group of kids. We were in the blue t-shirts. That was always the standing joke. There was the blue t-shirts and the red t-shirts that were there. And they were there because they wanted to be there, and they were split up into 2 separate groups. Then there were the black t-shirts. Now, that'd be racist now. I'm not sure what colour there will be this day and age, but the black t-shirts were the mongs from secondary school that didn't have anywhere else to go. So they just put them into the motor vehicle category because that was just the easiest way to get rid of them. Because it turns out the college really didn't like the course, but we liked the course. But basically the tutors just used to pick on them, which was great. It was fantastic. We ended up there, and obviously it was something I was really passionate about. I've always had an interest in cars and motorsport and things, so to learn on cars was great. We used to get the cars coming in, the ones that were seized off the roads that had no insurance, no tax, etc., that didn't get claimed. So before they went to get scrapped, we used to get new cars. So every couple of months we had a change of cars, which were really good. And we learned stuff like tyres and exhausts, you know, gearboxes. We dropped an engine out of a Metro, you know, stuff like that. It was really good. And we hung around with a few people. So there used to be Tyrone. He called himself White Tyrone because the first day we met him, like, oh, what's your name? He says, White Tyrone. I was like, why White Tyrone? He went, well, you've never seen a white person called Tyrone before, have you? I was like, yeah, true, yeah. So White Tyrone. Shane, Connor, Damien, Sophie, there was a lass in there, and yeah, that was sort of like our little friendship group that we'd formed there, and it used to be really good, and we really enjoyed it. We used to just get up to all sorts of shit, really, but it was Mondays was the best day because it was all day in the workshop, so we used to, you know, properly get down to business and work on cars and do what we love to do. But the best thing we did was we were doing a course on having to drop exhausts. You know, you had to fit an exhaust. So you used to take the exhaust off, clean it up a bit and stick it back on again. And Tyrone were doing his. So we got the tutor, Alan, in on it as well, and he was distracted him while we were doing it. So he'd undone the front end of it, so he put the balls back in. So then he was trying to take it off. It's like, why? And Alan's like, oh no, you've not done this bit of it. So he went down there, they were passing the back bits up again. He was so fucked up, it was unreal. He only had an hour to do it, bless him. We were there fucking about, but he passed anyway. But yeah, we had such a laugh, and it was nice to be treated like proper adults, as I said. There was Tim, Alan, and Nigel were our 3 tutors that worked with us in the classroom and also in the workshop, and they had experience. They worked with Formula 1 teams and stuff, which was obviously what I was really interested in. So Nigel used to work for McLaren, and I think Alan worked for Sauber at one point. He went over to Switzerland, but I found out lots of stuff about them. But it was just so nice to have an environment where you could be yourself for once. You know, you weren't told that you had to be like this or you had to be like that or you had to do that. You just left to get on with it, and it was really nice. And obviously then I got more independent being at college because I used to catch the train then to get to obviously Doncaster College from where I am. So that was a big step forward, and that pissed me off a few times because I fucking hate public transport anyway. There's one incident where I had a run-in with a rail cop. That was nice. Do you know what? I'm going to use it for this episode. Why not? So basically, I was on the train down, and the ticket office was shut where I got on the train. And the conductor didn't come down the train. So I thought, well, that's weird, but anyway. So gets off at Doncaster, thought, oh, brill, I've not had to pay. Brucey bonus. Gets up, and there's fucking Doncaster races on, isn't there? So they've got rail cops making sure everyone's got a valid ticket. So I'm up there, ready, and he's like, have you got your ticket, mate? I was like, no. I was like, why? I was like, well, because ticket office was shut, and no conductor came down the train. He's like, don't happen, mate. I was like, what do you mean it don't happen? It did happen. He's like, don't happen. I was like, well, why have I not got a ticket then? Obviously, if conductor came down the train, I'd still have a ticket of some description. He's like, well, you must have dodged them. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. I went, look at everyone else that got on at my station. All of us haven't got tickets. I was like, oh, well, it's going to have to be a fine, mate. You're going to have to get fined. I'm like, no, I'll just pay the price of a ticket. I've got £2.60 on me. That's how much it costs. Funny that, innit? If I weren't willing to pay and I've got £2.60 on me, you dickheads. So anyway, he says, look, well, we're going to have to take this further. I was like, take it further, but I start college at 8:30. So if you're going to be a dick, but so long as I can get to college on time. Oh, I made such a fucking issue out of it. It pissed me right off. Then the best thing was, he did manage to just charge me £2.60, and I got me ticket that I needed return. And then on the way back, the rail cops were there. He's like, you've been put down as a child on your return ticket. It's not valid. Like, fucking tell them. They're the one that issued it me. You fucking rail cops over there, you dicks. So yeah, that was public transport while I was at college, but I'm digressing. I'm going off subject. So yeah, that was that. And as for college itself, we used to do the classroom-based stuff on... Oh, Wednesdays used to piss me off so much. I used to have to go in for an hour. We did 1 hour class, and everyone else then had to do maths and English because I passed them in GCSEs. I didn't have to do them. But yeah, we had this 1 hour class, and it used to be quite fun because it used to be in the workshop. So we used to be there doing as like written work of what we'd done in the workshop on Monday. But the black t-shirts used to be in the workshop, which were the mongs, which even the tutors didn't like. And there's one particular time that we was in with Tim, and he was sat down, and the black t-shirts were knocking on the windows and banging on the doors, being right arseholes as the wood, because the chavs and mongs. And Tim, he literally got up, climbed out. It's like, right, stop fucking about, or this spanner's getting chucked at someone. He got this massive, like, wrench, adjustable spanner. So they're like, oh, I bet you don't. Fucking launched it across the room like, oh no. And it twatted off a bonnet of a car, and it nearly hit one of the... it was great. It nearly hit one of the black t-shirts. It used to be fucking great. But the best thing was when the tutors were coming up with names for the people of the black t-shirts. Like, there were brothers. We used to call them the Dinosaur Brothers because they used to walk with the fucking knuckles scraping on the ground. That was fucking Nigel that came up with that one. Oh look, dinosaur twins, like, fucking hell. Oh god. But yeah, college was such a great time, and I could really just be myself, and I ended up passing there. I got the MVQ level 2 out of it, I think it was, for motor vehicle, in brakes and suspension and exhaust, tyres, all sorts. And the written work I really got involved with, and there was one on tyres, and I'm a bit of a nerd, I like tyres. And we had to write a 500-word essay on each type of tyre. So you used to have a road tyre, then an off-road tyre, and then a race tyre. Well, race tyre came, and my God, I got proper anal on race tyres. And I ended up writing, I think it was about 4,000 words just on race tyres about, oh yeah, and if you've got a slick tyre, you can do this, and if you've got a wet tyre, you can do that, and it moves 80 litres of water per second on a wet tyre and stuff like that. And yeah, so that was really good. And Tim was like, look, you've given me too much work to do here, but it was really good what you wrote. So I was like, great, cheers, Tim. Oh, I've belched again. So yeah, so it was like, he was really pleased with the work I'd done. And he was like, yeah, that's good, that. I was like, oh, cheers, Tim. Really appreciate it, mate. So I had a phone call from Nigel, and he rang me. And it was such a heartwarming conversation because it was like, look, we need you back for next year. We want you back for next year. You've been such an asset. You've been fantastic. We've loved having you on board. We want you back for next year to do your level 3, and you're going to go, you can go far. I was like, well, thanks for that, Nigel, but I've got so many interviews for potential apprenticeships lined up, and, I wanted an apprenticeship was what I wanted, and I was applying for all these apprenticeships, just like you do. I applied for everything under the sun, really. And obviously a year had passed, and then I was 17, and I got that many interviews lined up. It was unreal. I literally had a week where I had 5 interviews in a week. I think it was like Mazda, Honda, Volvo, Vauxhall, and Nissan, I think it was, that I'd applied for. And they'd all come through, and I was like, oh shit, I've got all these interviews. So I proper prepared for them and everything, and then some fell by the wayside, but I was always like second or third. Like, I'd always have to go for a final interview or a next to final interview or a trial. Like at Honda, I had to do a trial week because they couldn't pick between 3 of us. So that was nice. Didn't get it though, but I didn't want it anyway because I was there, and I was there doing my trial week, and I'd done this service on a Honda Jazz all by myself. I know, what a fucking superstar. And so I'd done it and everything, and I took the wheels off, inspected the brakes, and I put the wheel back on. I was like, have you got a torque wrench so I can torque the wheels up? He's like, oh no mate, we don't have a torque wrench, so we just do them nice and tight. I'm like, I'm not putting wheel on then. I'm not putting a wheel on without a torque wrench. So I think I pissed him off at that point anyway. That's why I didn't get that one. Volvo was the only one I was really disappointed with, because it just seemed to be the right place for me. I'd done the initial interview, then I'd gone for a trial, then I'd gone for a final interview, as well as obviously the applications and everything. Then I had to do a test as well, which was like general maths and English and science and stuff, and I passed that with flying colours. And they genuinely couldn't pick between these 2 guys, and the other guy was called Luke, and they couldn't pick between the pair of us, but they only had 1 application. And honest to God, I was waiting for days, like anxiously waiting, as if like, would I get it? Because I loved the people that were there when I did the day trial, and it just seemed like a really cool place to be. And in the end, they gave it to the other guy, and I was absolutely devastated. That was probably the first time I was really gutted about it. And yeah, I was disappointed. I still am in a way, but you know, you never know where things are going to lead and stuff like that. At the time, if I'd have known where I was going to be later on in life, then I don't think I'd have minded as much. But then I was really distraught. But to sum all that up, then I'd come home, and then I'd had a phone call from Volkswagen, who I'd never, for some reason, never got anything from, in terms of I put my application in, never heard out back. And they rang me and they said, I'm just wondering if you'd like to apply for this job. I was like, well, I've already have. They're like, oh, we haven't got it, but if you'd like to apply, then we'd like to have you. I was like, okay, well, I'm pretty sure they don't ring me to get applying for jobs, but anyway, they'd seen my CV somewhere across the line and decided that they wanted me. So that was nice then, that people were ringing me asking me, look, we want you. And then the end of that year then, I'd still not got any apprenticeships in that. So I started working with my auntie. And my auntie at the time used to do Clean Easy. She used to be self-employed. I don't know if it still goes Clean Easy, but the magazines that you get dropped off at your door. So I was using that as like a bit of income, because I couldn't get any money in terms of like help with doing college and stuff, and obviously I wasn't working. So I used to get £30 a week from my auntie doing Clean Easy, pagging all the orders up and changing all the books and everything. So that was like my first ever job, really. It wasn't a proper job, it was just a cash in hand kind of thing, but it was like getting the ball rolling. So I was doing that while I was still waiting for getting an apprenticeship or getting a proper job of some description. So I think it was in the space of a few days, and I got a job interview for Fiat to be an apprentice there, and I'd also applied for the College for Motorsport again in Silverstone, and I got an interview for that. So I thought, right, I'll see what comes up. So I got the Fiat interview first, so I went for that. It was nice, I enjoyed it, it was good. I thought I liked the people. They seemed to know what they were doing, so I thought, oh, that's good, that's a great option. If they offer me a job, I'll take it. And then I went for the interview at Silverstone. Now, this is where fate's meant to happen and everything happens for a reason, which was on the way down to Silverstone, I said, look, I said to my mum and dad, I said, I'm just going to take if someone offers me. You know, if someone offers me, Fiat, because Fiat seemed really keen. Obviously, Silverstone I'd applied before but not got in, and I had done an interview there. So I said, look, the first one to offer me is what I'm taking out of these two, because I just had a feeling. So mum and dad were like, yeah, fully support you, that's fine. We got to the interview, sat in for Silverstone, and I was sat there and they said, look, you've applied 2 years running now, you've still got a passion clearly, so we're going to tell you here and now you can start college with us in September if that's what you want to do. So I was like, oh, fantastic. I've got something sorted. I'm going to be in motorsport, you know what I mean? I'm going to be able to learn the ropes of working on racing cars and things. So I was fucking chuffed. And I was loving life. So I knew there and then straight away. So this stress was gone. I was like, right, I've got something lined up for next year now. I'm happy. Okay, it's college again, but it's an avenue that I would love to go down. So after the interview then, I ended up obviously coming out, well chuffed. My mum and dad were there. I was like, I've got it, I'm in, I'm starting, and everything was great. And then literally, as I got home, and I sat down, and it's a 2-hour drive home. As I sat down, Fiat rang. And they said, oh, we'd like to offer you your job. And I said, I can't now, I've just accepted to go to college again for another year. And that was literally the epitome of fate, because had Silverstone not offered me that job, or, you know, offered me that college course for that year, there and then I'd have took Fiat, and it had never led me down the path that I ended up going down. So for me, that was just fate, and that really just sums my life up of taking choices and just going for it and going with decisions and just thinking on your feet. And yeah, so that was really the epitome. But that year was such a fantastic year. I'd had a great year at college. I got all these interviews, and clearly I was like wanted. Not that I'm like being big-headed, but you know, getting to final interviews and having some good trial days and trial weeks because they couldn't pick between the pair of us or a group of people. I knew they wanted, and okay, I weren't successful all the time, but then having a company ringing me up saying, "Oh, why don't you apply here? Apply for us," sort of thing. It was really nice, and in the end, I took Silverstone, so I didn't end up working after all that. But yeah, it was such a nice way to get all the shit that had left me behind from school. You know, it was finally nice to pick myself out of that rut and actually feel appreciated and wanted. So it was really nice, and college and all those job interviews certainly did it for me. So obviously then in the next episode we'll lead on to, you know, how Silverstone played out and what happened there and where it took me from there. So yeah, I look forward to sharing that with you in the next episode. But thank you so much for watching this episode, and yeah, we'll see you for the next one. Much love.
You have a heart of gold, and I look forward to growing old, 'cause I'll be old with you.